Thought I'd be on my way and getting paid $1 million to my name, but here I am now. I pictured confidence, the compliments, the list of my accomplishments didn't work out. The life I thought I'd have by now, I'm nowhere close, it's way too.
Game over. this week, Opix. We're about to find out 20 minutes plus a lap, and we already got a battle up front between the Venom Fallacy and Barry Barrows, two of your championship hopefuls.
Yep, these are going to be the two to watch today. Short field here, but for the 6 riders that we have today, it's crucial experience for the upcoming season, which will be starting in 2 weeks as we see Venom go a little longer on the jump than Barry, catching up. While they're battling, we have Elite, just chasing behind in third. Could Elite have something to say winning this preseason race today?
I've been looking for Elite MKB and the racer in fourth there with the Flaming Helmet Derpzilla to get some better rides at the start of this new season. Those guys not considered newcomers, some of our veterans here in the next class, so they were not on track last week, but now we get a chance to see if they've picked up their speed, if their pace is on par with some of our championship hopefuls, the Venom Fallacy, Barry Barrows. Both of these guys have won professional Halo racing events in the past. Barry Barrows, a little bit of a newcomer to the sport. The Venom Fallacy been around for about a decade and a half, a long-time veteran here. The Venom Fallacy probably the racer that's expected to come into this series and take the championship, but Barry Barrows right now side by side. They split the lanes there. Barry's going to have the inside into this final corner as they hit the finish line double, a little bit of a step down. The Venom Fallacy clears a little bit more, still side by side. I'm looking for these two. This could be a preview of what's to come when the regular season starts. Barry Barrows versus the Venom Fallacy, both in the gray armor there with the blue outlines. It's kind of a fun little thing, makes them look like teammates. These guys not teammates. If you've been watching the stream, then you got a little bit of a chance to see as Barry locks down the first place spot there. Got a chance to see, but he cases right there, and the Venom Fallacy rails it around the outside. Really nice move from Tyler there. The Venom Fallacy back up into the lead. Lots of fast-paced sections on this track, but then some spots where you really got to choose your moments and choose your lines, make sure that you're funneling into exactly what you want to do. Barry going outside here. He's going to try to triple up this uphill right here, carry a little bit more speed into this motocross section up at the top here. Both of our tracks so far in this preseason have had some motocross elements, which is kind of fun. Reminds us of like super motocross in real life, kind of combining both disciplines there. But like I was saying, we've had a stream video going on showing you the team leaders for this new season. Last season's champion, Jabbleston, Zaya, D-Mills NY, Cat to Be Kidding Me, those 4 race winners are actually going to be the 4 squad leaders here in Season 2, and it's going to be fun to see them draft their teams. That team draft is going to be coming up here within the next couple of weeks, right before the season begins. So right now, it's still the Venom Fallacy up front. Barry Barrows is tucking in, trying to follow the line, seeing where he's slower, where he's faster than the Venom Fallacy, planning out his next move. Elite MKB in third, racing out of the UK, has not fallen too far off the back of these guys as we're about 5 minutes into it. And Derpzilla, he finished third place in the heat earlier. We didn't get to stream the heat, but Derp had a really solid ride there. Paid to Drive has made his way around Black Spectre, another one of our newcomers here, but she's been doing an awesome job picking up the mechanics of Halo Supercross here, and honestly keeping these guys at bay. So great job there from Black Spectre, a brand new racer as of last week.
And Barry's closing up on Venom again. I think we're going to be having this battle for really the rest of the race. And again, it's preseason. These races don't count technically. That there's no points, but it damn well matters to these guys. They would like to get a win here, have some momentum going into the season, which will be starting in 2 weeks. What teams will they be drafted in? I can't imagine they'll both be on the same team the way they're riding right now. Again, with the smaller field, we're not seeing everybody that's eligible, and I'm very interested to see the next race if we have more people there. But again, Venom just holding on to it here. But Barry, even though he is a newcomer to the scene relatively compared to some of these the veterans of Halo racing, you almost call him the scientist. He's been putting in laps. He tries to find the nuances in his lines and how he rides, and also with forging, as we're finding out. So Barry's been doing a lot within this community, and he's putting it to good use right now as he's keeping a 10-year veteran, as you said, in Tyler, the Venom Fallacy, honest, as this gap is still about 1 to 2 seconds, Deacon. This is going to be the battle for the race, and 15 minutes to go. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, it truly is fascinating when you look at the top 2 right now, the Venom Fallacy and Barry Barrows. Like we said, not only the contrast between the amount of time that they've had on track here in Halo 4 Supercross, with Venom being here since I joined. We joined around the same time back in 2013, end of 2013, or I should say end of 2012, beginning of 2013. And so he's been racing on Halo 4 Supercross tracks for almost like a third of his life at this point, whereas Barry Barrows, much newer in the community, but has been able to pick up, like you said, kind of the nuances and the structure of the Halo 4 Mongoose physics, and specifically how they work in Supercross. He's actually won one of the Formula M races, I believe, over in one of our other series that kind of emulates F1 racing. So not new to winning, not new to going fast, but being a favorite maybe is a little bit new for Barry. He did pick up at least one podium last season and next, and he's fallen off the back of the Venom Fallacy just a little bit right here. But I love the contrast with these two as championship contenders because the approach is so different. I feel like the Venom Fallacy is much more feeling-based, just like raw, like I'm not going to think about it too much. I'm just going to like grip it and rip it and see what happens. Whereas Barry Barrows is, like you said, the scientist. He's really when should I turn down? Should I do the exact same thing every lap? How do I make it as optimal as possible? So we're seeing these two different approaches play out honestly in similar ways with similar results because they're still within a second of each other.
Yeah, and Halo Racing, obviously this game is not meant for racing whatsoever. So it is very interesting seeing both of these philosophies in play here. Tyler's like, all right, I've played this game for a while, just feel it out. And Barry's like, how is this goose going to bounce at this exact moment? Okay, he doesn't get into that much detail, but it's very interesting seeing both styles. And for more of the newcomers in here, as they're getting experience into this, I'm wondering what they're going to be looking at. Like, are they going to be like looking at this as a science, or are they just going to feel it out? Like, I'm sure some riders like Yamaha rider that we saw, or Yamaha Rex, I forget what his gamer tag is.
Yeah, Captain Rex. Yep.
Captain Rex. He probably goes on more feel because he actually has real-life motocross dirt bike experience. Barry, as far as I know, doesn't. So, and some of these people, I don't know if Spectre potentially does. She might not. Again, I've talked about like, does having actual riding experience translate to this game? And it's interesting to see that philosophy just play out, regardless of their real life experience or not.
Yeah, as we're about 7.5 minutes into this one, still only about a second separating your top two. The Venom Fallacy and Barry Barrows both going through this very treacherous whoop section. The whoops aren't large, but the way that they're spaced out, if you get the RPMs in the wrong spot heading into that third or fourth whoop, it likes to kind of set you between them, and all of a sudden you can end up with no speed to be able to clear the double that Elite MKB in the background just did right there in the yellow armor. Derpzilla trying to make his way up to the racer out of the UK there. That's a good fight for third. Still about a half section between them, but Derp has slowly made his way up. They're leaving Paid to Drive a little bit behind them, and Paid to Drive, if he's not careful, he's going to have Black Spectre all over the back of him right there. Black Spectre, again, really new. I would say even more green here than Paid to Drive, even though Paid to Drive was also in that newcomers race. We see Black Spectre case in the Supercross triple there just a little bit. But Black Spectre, one of our brand new racers, almost no experience for her in Halo Supercross, but honestly doing an awesome job here. A lot of the times when we see new racers in these races, they would already be a lap down, if not more, at this point. So she's clearly put in the work to pick up the pace there and learn some of the ins and outs of the Halo 4 Mongoose. Meanwhile, Barry Barrows had a little bit of a mistake at the beginning of this lap, and he's fallen off the back end of the Venom Fallacy. And this fight, like we said, is so interesting. Could be a preview of what's to come. I would expect Fireball, if Fireball is going to be able to join us in this next season, Fireball will be up here battling with these guys. If Squeezoo is able to, convince himself that he wants to race, I think he could have some speed on certain weekends to race with these guys. So we're going to have to figure out what the best day for everyone to race is. Right now we're doing Saturdays here at this 6 Eastern time, but maybe a better day is better for our cast of drivers here.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we're gonna throw it out there in like polls and whatnot. What day is gonna work for everybody? But right now,
the Venom Fallacy just stopped on track. I'm wondering if he hit his keyboard. If he, knowing Tyler, I bet you $1 million he ran out of batteries on his controller. I cannot believe what we're looking at right now. The Venom Fallacy just stopped on track, like his bike is stalled, and he just
quit.
All of a sudden is out of the game. I'm gonna hop into the game and give these guys a red flag if you want to take it over, Opix.
Yep. All right. Well, we had to do this in the first season where we had to red flag the race, and we're going to do it again. It looks like the Venom Fallacy, Tyler lagging out from the lead. We were wondering if his batteries died, if the batteries ran out of fuel, as we see everybody now stopping on track. And again, it's a good run through for everybody here, seeing what the red flag policy will be. And it's a good thing this is happening in preseason, and we can kind of establish this with, a smaller field. So what I think is going to happen is we're going to try to get Venom Fallacy around where he would be. If I can look at where Barry is here, I think Barry is in this first section after the start-finish line here. I think we might try to put Tyler, if we're going to put him approximately where he was gap-wise to Barry, probably like on the end of this berm. I don't know if he's going to be able to get a good whoop run out of that. Regardless, we're going to try, I think, to stagger these gaps based on where they are on track. Now, that's, I believe, what we did last season. We'll see if that changes. But right now, we are going to work on Tyler, getting him back in the game. Unfortunately, his game crashing, I believe, as he's now rejoined. I neglected to look at what the time was. I mean, that wasn't long. That was like 2 minutes, if anything. Jeff, if you're there, Jeff, our cameraman, did you, notice what time that might have happened? I think it was, a couple minutes ago. You didn't see? Nah? Alright. Alright, he's back to... Well, Tyler is now trying to find his goose, and yeah, he is in fact... Nope, he's running over here. And now Barry is off his goose. It's like, you good, brother? Drives over. So yeah, he's going to line up around the berm. We'll see if he gets a good run off of this. He's trying to straight line this. Might be trying to figure out, is he going to get a fair whoop run here from this section? He's also going to have to get a lap back, because obviously Barry's at 12. Venom's now going to have to get his 12th lap here. So they might just go right when Tyler passes by Barry here. So Venom is now going to have a run here as he pops into a stationary page to drive over there. So again, this situation doesn't happen a lot, but again, as I mentioned, this game is not meant for racing. As we are going to see Tyler drive up. Is he just going to keep going? Is he going to stop on the berm? He is going to stop on the berm. And we've now been stopped for a few minutes here. We'll see if we add time here. A lot of times about 48, 49 seconds here, so you might be looking at adding 4 laps potentially. I don't know. I'm just kind of musing here. We'll see what Deacon decides to do as the showrunner here of this series, as Deacon has joined us back in the VC.
We have a couple options here. I know I'm still live with everybody, so you'll hear the behind the scenes of this. So I can either add on... So Jeff, what is it going to do to the game type if I just add on additional laps to the end of what happens? Yeah, so I mean, the average lap will be messed up for everybody because this is so long, but we'll still be able to do everything right. So if I just have them go to a set lap timer, do you think that's the best way to go? It was it was about halfway through, almost exactly, and we're at 12. So I'm thinking if we go to 25, then that's probably a safe number. All right, I'll let them know that we're just going to go to 25.
All right, so there you have it. We will be going to a set lap count now of 25. So ignore the time, ignore the 5 minutes to go thing that's going to pop up, ignore the ending on this lap, whatever it ends up saying. We will be going to 25 laps. Very rare you see a set lap count instead of time here in any form of HT Supercross, but that is what we are going to have to do. Extenuating circumstances with Tyler lagging out of the game, causing that. But we're seeing Tyler starting at the beginning of this berm, pretty much what I thought he was going to do. Deacon's going to give them the signal to get going when everybody's ready. And now we're just waiting. And just hold on. And thank you, Eddie. 10:18 on the in-game timer. So we've lost about 5 minutes here. So we'll see. Again, it doesn't matter. It's going to be 25 laps regardless at this point. And I think now they can be a little bit patient.
Right. These racers are going to be starting here at 5 minutes flat. there is the timer, and we're going to be going to 25 laps at the bottom right, so kind of taking the timer out of things at this point. They will be going to 25 laps completed for the leaders. If anyone gets lapped, then they'll just have to finish whatever lap that they were currently on. So we're back into it, Opix, after that red flag situation kind of gets everyone off their groove, and you got to pick up your rhythm again. I'm going to be looking to see if Derbzilla there in the kind of gray armor with the flaming helmet is currently sitting in 4th place. Curious if he can catch up to Elite MKB in the yellow armor. They're hitting the Supercross triple. Meanwhile, your leader's up there in the motocross section, and we still have a battle between Paid to Drive and Black Spectre as well, as Black Spectre has not allowed Paid to Drive, last week's 2nd place finisher, to get away quite yet.
Yeah, the cool thing about this race, even with the small field, everybody has kind of a rabbit to chase right now. Tyler and Barry are in a battle with each other, Derp and Elite are in a battle, and then you have Paid to Drive and Spectre in a battle with each other. So everybody's no one's driving by themselves, basically. And that's really cool for a race like this where, again, you're trying to get the experience, you're trying to get the reps in here before we start the season proper in 2 weeks. You got the pressure on, you have something to chase. And also with the red flag, it's something very different. Obviously, as you said, everybody's rhythm is now off. You have to get back on that as quickly as you can. So, again, extenuating circumstances, but all the while, it's good experience for these riders here today.
Yeah, I saw a little mistake out of your leader, the Venom Fallacy. It was just a minor one, but I could tell that his Mongoose bogged there at the top of the hill, so lost probably about a half second there on that lap. If Barry Barrows can keep slowly but surely chipping away into that lead, we might have a battle here. Really, all things considered, we're just over halfway through on this one, even though the timer down there is getting towards zeros rather quickly. But Barry Barrows makes a mistake in the whip section again, and he's going to have to roll double, which is a much slower line through that section after the whip. So the time that the Venom Fallacy lost, he just gains right back and then some as he heads into that rutted up sand section right there before the rhythm section. Meanwhile, the battle for 3rd, really no difference there. Elite MKB is just putting in his laps, looking for a solid podium finish right here. I don't think Elite MKB has ever finished on the podium in an HTSX Next race before, so this would be a first for him, and Derpzilla trying to do the same thing after a P3 in the heat race.
Derp's going to run the high line here. He's going to try to get this rhythm section, try to get momentum. And Spectre is now out of the game.
And now Spectre is out, and I'm going to try to chauffeur these guys away from this exact spot.
I don't know if Spectre lagged out or left. I'm not sure what happened there. But
yeah, if you want to take over comms for me, Opix, I'll double check with her and see what's going on.
VC to fill real quick. And yeah, that Goose is going to be right in front of Elite now. That is another obstacle. In real life Supercross, sometimes they will throw a yellow flag when a rider is down, and their dirt bike will be on the ground here. So something else these guys are going to have to navigate. That's a shame for Spectre as Paid to Drive hits the stationary bike there. Again, it's obviously kind of difficult here as we are going to see Jeff backing out and now park that Goose in a safe location, and now the obstacle has been cleared. So once again, Tyler holding onto this lead. The gap has basically remained the same, about 5 seconds, give or take here, maybe a little bit more at this point. Tyler just running laps. You gotta wonder if you're Barry, do you try to run like qualifying laps? Like, what is your absolute fastest line? It might be the riskiest, but at this point, you got 9 laps to go. You kind of need to do something. As he hits the canister there, he makes the turn cleanly regardless. But again, you might be pushing it a little bit here. You might want to practice trying to put in those time trial laps at this point. You got nothing to lose because 3rd is well behind. Speaking of 3rd, it is Elite MKB being chased by Derbzilla here.
Left.
1 minute remaining on the timer. Remember, we are not going to the timer plus 2 laps. We are going to a set lap count of 25. So we are on 8 laps to go here for the leaders as Venom continues to pull away there ever so slightly more from Barry. The battle on track is Elite versus Derp. Deacon, if you want to take it away, welcome back.
Yep, I believe that unfortunately we did have a DNF situation there out of Black Spectre, which is a shame because she was running so good. And meanwhile, we have a battle right here. P3, Derp trying to get to the inside, doesn't take him quite to the berm, going to choose to go inside here and double into the rhythm section, which is going to set him up for the outside here. Elite gets his spot back. Billy Joe Bob joins the game.
Billy Joe Armstrong has joined. And he's gone.
If any of the usual aliens, if any of our community members are around to hop in this custom game browser to make sure that no randoms join, I would much appreciate that. Meanwhile, let's call this battle for third place, because Derpzilla has made his way into the third place position, taking up that final podium spot, but jumps too far, jumps way too far on that double before the finish line, and all that time he's going to have to make up again. Got too excited there getting into the podium spot, and now he's almost a full section down off of Elite MKB, so a gift for the racer out of the UK. Meanwhile, up front, I want to keep an eye on the battle. It's still the Venom Fallacy. He has done nothing but continue to stretch out the lead here on Barry Barrows, and I'm sure if you're Barry, you can't be loving that situation because you want to be the fastest guy on track. You're seeing the white flag there in the bottom left. That's not accurate because of our red flag situation, so these guys are aware that they are going to be going to 25 in the bottom right, 25 laps completed for the leaders. Meanwhile, Derpzilla is already up on the back of Elite MKB. Looks like we got Popular joining the game there. That's one of ours, so we're avoiding any crazy random situation going on here. So let's keep an eye, Optics, on this battle for third, because in the same section a lap ago, Derp made a mistake. Now Elite makes a bit of a mistake, gets into that invisible wall on the side, and just like that, Derpzilla is all over the back of Elite MKB for the final podium spot.
Yeah, I think they're going to be having some fun right now, battling it out. Again, this race technically doesn't count.
Who's going to get the drive in the whoops? Elite swapping back and forth. Derp's going to cut it over to the left. Elite cases, and just like that, Derp into third place. This time chooses to go to the berm. Doesn't make the same mistake twice. It's going to say leader finished at the bottom left there, but that is not true. These guys going to 25, so still 5 more laps. 5.5 laps to see if Elite MKB can get back around Derpzilla. They're both choosing to go outside here. Elite cutting it a little bit tighter there. Don't need all of that berm to triple. Oh, what a huge mistake out of Elite there. He doesn't need all of that berm, but he needed a little bit more than what he actually took, and unfortunately that is going to drop him way back into fourth, about the same distance between him and Derpzilla now as back in the field to Paid to Drive, who is our final racer alive here, because unfortunately the DNF from Black Spectre. So crazy if you're Paid to Drive. You led almost every lap last week in the newcomers event, and now you're seeing the speed difference. You're seeing the levels come to play here. Not a slight to Paid to Drive at all. He's been doing an awesome job here, making his way through this one and learning the ropes here in Halo Supercross. But once the rest of the next racers get on track here, you really see the speed differential. But he's not too far off of Elite and Derpzilla. If those guys were to make some big mistakes, it could still be a battle. Meanwhile, about 2 sections off of the back of Paid to Drive now is your leader, the Venom Fallacy. Barry Barrows has made up maybe a slight bit of time in the last couple of laps, but if you're Tyler, the Venom Fallacy at this point, you are just looking to manage this race for the next 4 laps.
Yeah, you can afford to run the safe lines here if you're Tyler. I do wonder if Paid to Drive is going to be able to stay on the lead lap. Obviously, he's going to finish 5th, barring something catastrophic happening to a Derp or Elite here. But, if you're Paid to Drive, it's like, you know what? I'm going to try to stay on the lead lap. That's a fun goal to have at this point. And Barry, again, he's got to run time trial laps at this point and take a few risks now. He's in that position where he has to attack. That being said, he is attacking, and he is slowly making a time. I think he's cut into that lead just a couple seconds. He's still got about 5 to 6 seconds left to make up here. But could Barry potentially pull this off? We have 3 laps to go. It might take a mistake from Tyler at this point.
I honestly think, it's going to come down to that whoop section. There's not a ton of places on track where I would expect a major mistake out of your leader. Maybe that berm that Barry just went through, as you're looking to rail it, you can get off the track to the left and into the tough block. But if you're Tyler, you're just the Venom Fallacy, you're looking to keep things safe right now. Barry's definitely chunking into that lead just a little bit, but he's like throwing everything at the wall at this point and definitely more prone to mistakes. So 2 to go for the leader as he crosses the line. It's going to come down to this whoop section. If he gets a couple of bad whoop runs here on these final 2 laps, Barry could get close enough, but the Venom Fallacy looking to lead every single lap of the main event. He went outside in that berm on lap 1 to I don't think he snagged the whole shot, but he got to the end of that first section in first place and has not relinquished it since. Barry Barrows has been close, trying to take it away. Actually, Barry might have led some laps. I don't even remember at this point. I feel like it's been a fever dream this whole race, so someone can correct me there. But that's your top 2, Derpzilla in 3rd and Elite MKB. Another mistake on the finish line there, but still holds down 4th, Paid to Drive in 5th.
Yeah, I think Barry at some point did lead. I don't know if he led a lap necessarily, but I think he definitely had to lead for a bit. Again, I guess the battle on track technically would be Derp and Elite, but even that, they're all kind of spaced out at this point. So unfortunately, what I was talking about with the everybody having a goose to chase, that's kind of fallen to the wayside here. But again, One more lap to go here for Tyler. We are going to 25. The
Yep,
timer
final lap.
well past expired at this point, but it doesn't matter. Can Tyler catch Paid to Drive? Can Paid to Drive stay on the lead lap? Is Tyler
That's the
made
carrot
this?
you're chasing if you're the leader. But look at the
May as well.
discrepancy. I look at the difference between Barry Barrows on track in second place all the way back to Derp, who is hitting the finish line. That is third place. This is almost a full lap that these top two have put into the rest of the field, which just goes to show why these two are some of your championship hopefuls. But rounding the final corner here, the Venom Faust, he's going to go wide, maybe set up to whip this one. Not quite, but he's going to take checkers here. The Venom Fausty takes the win in the preseason race here at Enigmatic, just in front of Barry Bears there in second. We'll keep an eye on the remainder of the field. Can Derpzilla hold it on here in front of Elite MKB? And honestly, Paid to Drive, even though we were talking about can he stay on the lead lap, he hasn't surrendered much time there to Elite and Derpzilla. So putting in some solid laps. Going to be interesting to look at the fastest lap times here when we get to the end of this one and see our stats. Derpzilla, you have one motocross section to navigate here. Looks like he's going to do that successfully. Don't run into the wall like you did before if you're Derp. Get that turn early, and you are a podium finisher in HT Supercross Next. Derpzilla holds it on in front of Elite MKB. Great race between those two. And finally, in fifth place, rounding it out here, not too far down, is Paid to Drive. Like we said, unfortunately, Black Spectre not able to finish this one. And then Dom, who we saw in the heat race, not able to start this one with all of his lag situation. So kind of unfortunate the way things all played out here. We're going to end the game. And next thing you'll see from us, we'll talk to our podium finishers here, hear how they navigated this one. Again, kind of a really strange race, all things considered. So many different elements that we're not used to seeing. But we'll cut to a break right now. You might not see an actual break, but we'll get muted here for a moment, and we'll talk to your podium finishers. All right, after the most perfectly normal and not scuffed event that anyone has ever experienced in Halo Racing, we're back on the podium. Let's send it down now. We have Derpzilla, third place finisher in not just the heat race, but also the main event, which means we're talking to him here on the podium for the first time in HT Supercross Next. Derp, wasn't a full field, but still come away with a third place finish here. Take us through your race a little bit. You had that battle with Elite. You were running him down, got into third, made that mistake before the finish line and kind of threw it away, but then you were right back on him. So what were you feeling in some of those moments?
Yeah, happy to be here for the first time, even though it wasn't really a stacked field, but I'll take it. Feeling pretty good. I'm excited for the start of this whole season. Battling with Elite's always fun. I usually find myself battling with them most of the time anyway, so I feel like we kind of understand how each other race. So yeah, I got the best of him on this one. Just like I said, looking forward to the rest of the season once it starts up.
Was saying everybody was kind of in like a battle and having like a rabbit to chase. So you're saying that you and Elite have battled a lot. Is there something to that familiarity with how somebody rides as opposed to somebody new? And, to anybody that is new to this, somebody like a Black Spectre that's learning the ropes, or anybody else that's going to be joining us for the season, obviously you haven't been like as experienced as some other riders here, but you've definitely gotten that experience with other riders. What can you say about like learning the intricacies that other riders in competition have?
To your first question, I think being able to trust Elite, knowing that he's been doing this a while and isn't going to be one to race crazy or race dirty. He's a pretty clean guy, so being able to be comfortable to tuck in behind him, I feel like that's something that benefited me on this race. Just like I said, having that trust. And then your second question, yeah, just I don't know, learning the mechanics, building the confidence, uh, learning the tracks and the system and all that stuff is just I think one of the key components here, and learning from the other guys too. I find myself picking and choosing different lines that I see other guys try just to give them a whirl if I haven't already tried them yet. So learning from the other guy kind of has been helping me thus far.
Yeah. Last question here for you, Derp. You find yourself a little bit between worlds. You have, as we saw in this race, the Venom Fallacy, Barry Barrows, these guys, speed wise in this upcoming season of Next, probably two of the fastest racers that we'll see on track. And then we have the newcomers that have been joining in, whether it's Black Spectre or Geese or Paid to Drive or Captain Rex, who we saw last week. And you find yourself somewhere in between experience-wise and speed-wise. How do you think that's going to play out come regular season? Are you... Because there's a chance that you'll kind of wean in one direction or the other. You'll either pick up the pace and be more towards the front, or maybe some of those guys will pick things up faster and you'll be having to battle with them. So that's kind of a unique position for you. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, hopefully I'm the one that picks up the pace first. But I don't know, we'll see. I'm just gonna have to keep practicing, see if I can put some more time into practice. And just build that confidence and comfortability with the racing. A lot of these guys, they do have more experience and more skill, so I'm just hoping that I can learn from them and kind of figure out where I'm losing time and see where they're gaining time and see if I can't implement it myself throughout the season.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing how that all unfolds. Again, kind of a half-baked, it feels like thing here, because only 6 racers finishing this one out, or 5 racers by the end of it. So, but it doesn't take away from the fact that you are finishing on the podium here. You get to have your podium interview, and hopefully we'll be able to see a similar. Yeah, hopefully we'll see a similar outcome, even when we have 14 racers on the gate come regular season time. So, congrats, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Not me starting the event and getting pulled into another VC, because that's how Discord works.
Fantastic.
Well, second slowest if we count Spectre.
And we're here now with second place finisher Barry Barrows. Barry, you had an all race long battle there with the Venom Fallacy. By the end of it, you were off the back of him by a few seconds there. You were charging at the end to make up some of that time, ending up with the fastest lap of the race. Excuse me, with that 47.5, really fast lap, all things considered. I mean, that's some of the pace that the top guys in the mainline HT Supercross series would be running there. So super fast lap from you there, but couldn't quite come out with the victory. The Venom Fallacy ends up leading 23 of those 25 laps. But take us through that a little bit. Did you feel like you were learning things? Were you picking up lines? Were you making mistakes? Take us through that a little bit, and your reaction to the second place finish.
All right. Thank you for the question here. At the beginning of the race, I wanted to get some contact in with the Venom Fallacy there. He was taking that outside hole shot. Wanted to get and try to apply some pressure there. And there were some parts where it did work, but there were some consistency issues from my side on one sector in particular, which is the whoops, which is a pretty rough spot to lose consistency on. That's like a second and even more if you don't know how to recover. And I did flounder there a few times. And because of those mistakes, I wasn't able to get back to contention for first place. But either way, I still continue to race my race there, not take it too hard so that for the next event I can do a bit better and just take it easy. Just take it easy.
Yeah, I was gonna say a couple of things. One, I was talking about Barry. I was talking about you as the scientist, the new scientist, trying to learn all the different nuances. And I think we just kind of heard it there. You were talking about like, okay, this bounce happens this way. I was trying to learn, what Tyler was doing in front of me. What kind of like, what? I'm trying to phrase it the correct way. Like, is that kind of the process you take? Is like, okay, how much like detail do you really look into it? Is really what I'm trying to say. Like, if you want to elaborate on all that.
Hmm. Uh, I tend to go nowadays by a little bit by feel. Like, oh, if I slow down like this, how does it affect the next section? What happens if I scrub a little speed, and then I jot it down into memory, and and while it works most of the time, there are like some very very small stuff that can affect uh the next sector. Like it could be the smallest thing. So even though I have things jotted down, I tend to get lost myself. So so I would have to work on that. Focus more on what I've practiced and be more like remember what I'm doing, not just follow somebody, because I know that I could have done better had I remembered what to do for the whoops.
Well, you know what I was gonna say? Like, maybe we're all just scientists here because we've been racing this goose for 15 years plus now, and we're still trying to figure things out, right? Even Deacon and Jeff here, that have been doing this for the better part of their lives.
That's right. Well, Barry, congrats on the second place finish. It definitely was within reach there to battle for the win, and you were battling for the win. So really cool to see you battle with a longtime veteran like the Venom Fallacy, who has many, many more years of experience on you. Just goes to show how quickly you've been picking things up. So congrats on that second place finish, and we'll see you at the next one.
Okay, thank you, Deacon, thank you, Opex, and thank you, Jeff.
And finally, we're here with your first place finisher, the Venom Fallacy. Venom, I was just telling Barry, we were kind of talking with Barry and talking about some of the interesting contrast between you two, whether it's the amount of time that you've been racing Halo Supercross, the approach to it, just all of these different things. And it was cool to see you guys battle it out there. Obviously, abbreviated gate, didn't have a 14 racer lineup for this one. It almost felt like one of those old ORL races where it's like you got 4 guys just duking it out and everyone's split across the map. But you still had to keep your wits about you because Barry was keeping you honest for most of that one. I'm curious, how much of that race did you feel like ultimately came down to the run you got through that whoop section?
I feel like most of it, really, probably like 90% of it. But like luckily for me, I kind of figured out the line, like the most consistent line to take for it, probably on lap 2. So that helped me a lot. I knew Barry was faster than me like the entire time. At least he was pulling faster laps here and there, like maybe consistently. He wasn't, but he did have the fastest lap. So I just knew that I had to like stay consistent and just not crash or die.
I was gonna say, Tyler, we've talked before. You're more of like feeling the goose out. Like Barry, again, more of the scientist, looking at more of the nuances of how the goose bounces. You are more like the feel of the goose, and I think you remember saying something about like if you really are like feeling the track, if you like the track and it suits you, you just fly on it. So is that something that happened here with aggregate? Is that just something that like you felt comfortable here?
Yeah, it's funny. Like before, I was just telling Barry, like in the practice lobby, that I was like never a huge fan of this track. But I feel like once I figured out the line and the whoops, like then I did really come to like it a lot. I think that was really like my only issue with it, like beforehand, was just not being able to figure out the whoops line. And then really, for me, it's just like, okay, well, I don't like the track now. But this race was really fun. Yeah, I do like the track a bit more than I used to, back in the day. And, I do think it runs very well and like it races very well. So it was one of those to where like you really had to find like a groove. And then once you did, then like you could kind of just sail through it.
Yeah, it was really interesting to watch the battles on track. And by the end of that race, I mean, we end up with 5 racers actually finishing the race. And third place Derp was nearly, more than half a lap down on you guys. So clearly speed-wise, you two are going to be 2 of the favorites going into this new season. I expect Fireball to be up there if he attends with this as well, and maybe some of the new guys like we saw Captain Rex last week have a lot of speed. So I'm really interested to see how the season plays out. If I were to poll our community here, I would say that you're probably the favorite going into this season. Does that come with any amount of pressure, or have you just been doing it so long that it doesn't really make a difference to you?
I mean, yeah, of course there's like a little bit of pressure on it, but I mean, yeah, I have been doing this, forever, and I guess my kind of mindset going into it is just, do what I do and try not worry about like any outside friction, or any opinions that like people might have. So I feel like I have been a bit better like in the last half year, like the past 6 months especially. I can feel myself kind of learning a bit more and being a bit better. So I'll try and use that going into this season and just kind of see what I can do. But yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I'm always excited for not just next, but any kind of SX season to start. So it should be fun.
For sure. The start of a new Supercross season, the start of any new season comes with all of its fair share of questions and uncertainties, and that can make it exciting to see who's going to end out up front. And today that was you, so congrats on the victory, able to hold off Barry there, hard charging Barry Barrows. Barry threw down a really fast lap time there, but you were able to keep your wits about you and manage the race and come out on top. So hopefully for your sake, you're able to do that come regular season time as well and take this thing home. But only time will tell. So congrats on the dub, and we'll see you in the next one.
Sounds good.
We cut him off on his thank you. But that's going to be all from us here. Any closing thoughts, optics on that one? Again, I don't want to harp on it too much because we all know that that event was kind of not the usual type of thing. But it kind of gave us a preview. It's good for us to be up to date and practiced as well as the race officials and hosts and everything like that. So probably a good thing for this to happen now compared to when race one comes around. But any closing thoughts before we let our watchers go here?
I mean, scuffed event or not, this is a game that's not meant for racing. So these things happen, and again, for everybody racing today, it's something very unique that doesn't happen. I was like, all right, we're just going, we're on the flow, and we just have to stop, and now we're just like waiting to see what's going to happen. But again, we go with the policy that you gotta just stop on track, and we just keep rolling with the gaps as they were. We put whoever lagged out back where they are. So I think now it's the second time that this has happened in the series. So I think again, most people here have been doing this for a while, and for the newcomers, and for anybody new that is watching this, that's, sometimes this happens. And again, scuffed event or not, this is just what we do. And, you make it work, and bleep it, we ball. That's basically what we have to do in this situation.
Yeah, pretty much. So that was still fun, though. I had a blast calling that one, getting to see the battle, getting to see some of the previews of what we'll see when the regular season comes around. The next thing that you're going to see from us most likely is our team draft. Like we said earlier in the broadcast, Jabelston, Zaya, D-Mills NY, Cat to Be Kidding Me, those 4 race winners from our inaugural season of HT Supercross Next are now becoming squad leaders, team leaders, and we'll see them draft their new teams here in Season 2. We didn't have any teams in Season 1 of Next, but Season 2 we're going to have some team camaraderie, and hopefully those 4 race winners will be able to kind of provide some experience and insight to some of our newer racers here and get them up to speed. So that's going to be a fun way to keep those guys still involved in the next ecosystem, even though they've kind of graduated on.
The content from the team draft is going to be great, so you're going to want to be here for that. I'm sure the banter is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. So we don't have a date quite set for that yet, but keep an eye out on the Instagram. We'll announce the live stream. We'll try to live stream that draft as well, so we can get all the funny moments from that type of thing. Hopefully make it a fun, entertaining experience. But that's going to be all from us here. Again, my name's Deacon, otherwise known as Pancake. Thank you, Opix, for your commentating abilities. Thank you, Jeff, for hosting the stream and for the camera work there. And thank you, everyone who joined us here. We'll see you at the HTSX Next Season 2 team draft for the next one.